There are people that I knew for a long time that I'm gonna be on the verge to stop talking to, because like people I knew for a long time, they are not spiritual beings. They're the main ones, whether it's biological relatives or zombie locals, that cause me to not be around my spiritual family that's long distance. I'm gonna stop talking to them. I'm on the verge of that, right? And a lot of us spiritual beings, we're on the verge of not wanting to talk to people who just holding us back to not connect with our spiritual family who support us genuinely, right? Like anytime spiritual beings have a vision, we should be supported by those who look like us or don't look like us, that see our vision the way we see our vision, for the soulful vibrational frequency we want to put out to the multiverse, man. Exactly, because it's a lot of these soulless vibrational locals, depending on where you are locally, that will always get in the way of a soulful vibrational individual, to try to make that soulful vibrational individual change themselves to fit in with a matrix society, or just fit in with a bunch of these zombie locals that just do a lot of soulless vibrational things and soulless vibrational activities just to waste that spiritual being's life. Because a lot of these soulless vibrational individuals in the local areas, they are very aware of these soulful vibrational males and females, where they spiritual soulful vibrational teenage girls, teenage boys, or spiritual soulful vibrational adult men and women. Those soulless vibrational beings will do everything to make a soulful vibrational person sabotage themselves to stay in a local area and miss out. Like these soulless vibrational individuals in these local areas, whether it's coworkers or whoever soulless vibrational person it is, when they see a soulful vibrational individual, whether it's a female or a male, those soulless vibrational locals gonna do everything and anything to make sure that soulful vibrational person sabotage their own intuition to miss out from hooking up with other spiritual beings in different locations, to where that spiritual person is gonna be celebrated by other soulful vibrational people. You feel what I'm saying? So like, this are the things that I've noticed about us spiritual people. We spiritual people, we were hoodwinked, and we were like placed in these local areas by these evildoer slave owners to make sure us spiritual people don't thrive with these other spiritual people that got talent, got personality, and all this type of stuff. This is the things that I noticed. This is a very important fact, soul family. Look, soul family, I learned that when it comes to us soulful vibrational spiritual beings, we do not feel very comfortable living in locations where a lot of individuals are not soulful vibrational beings like ourselves, and they can't see our vision. Because when spiritual beings have a vision, a lot of zombie locals tend to not see our vision, and they want to downplay it and want to try to bribe us in so many ways to keep us in the local location, to have us be stagnant in our spiritual growth, right? Because us spiritual beings, we feel comfortable being in locations where we are celebrated by other spiritual beings that see our vision. You feel me, soul family? Now, for spiritual beings who have got lucky to grow up in locations where it's like very big and there's spiritual beings around them, and those spiritual beings in Cancun or Montego Bay, Jamaica, or any large locations on this planet where it's a bunch of spiritual beings that support a spiritual being's vision, those spiritual beings got lucky. Because you got some spiritual beings that may have lived in Los Angeles, California their whole entire life and got a bunch of support from a bunch of locals, just because Los Angeles is very huge, so like those locals got lucky, but those spiritual locals got lucky. But when it comes to spiritual beings who grew up in small locations where zombie soulless vibrational beings do not support that spiritual being, they have it way harder than the spiritual beings who get to grow up in a big city that has a bunch of spiritual beings that celebrate them and support their vision. Never associate with individuals who want you to be who they perceive you as. When it comes to these zombies, soulless vibrational locals, because a lot of spiritual soul beings that are highly talented and a lot of spiritual attribute skills that soulless vibrational zombies do not have. A lot of these soulless vibrational zombies, whether it's a coworker, a biological parent, or any soulless vibrational local who has a false perception of how they view that spiritual soul being in that particular local area, those soulless vibrational zombies are just jealous, and they want to keep that spiritual soul being that has so much spiritual talents to be stagnant and suffer in a local location where a spiritual being doesn't have no freedom and they not celebrated by other people in that local area, man. I peep game and see it all about these soulless vibrational zombies in local locations. This is very factual. When it comes to being a spiritual, soulful, vibrational individual, those spiritual people that have a cosmic, soulful, vibrational talent, it really ticks off and irritates and intimidates a lot of these zombie, soulless, vibrational locals around that spiritual being, right? Because this is very true. Like, most spiritual beings have grew up in small locations that's full of soulless vibrational beings, and those spiritual beings, we spiritual beings don't feel comfortable being in locations with a bunch of zombie soulless vibrational beings who don't see our vision and they don't celebrate us. That's why a lot of us spiritual beings, we always be manifesting to the cosmos to have the need to want to be around a bunch of other spiritual beings in locations where we will be celebrated for our visions that we have, for our talents. For example, like, you could have spiritual beings who got lucky to grow up in Cancun, Seoul, South Korea, Montego Bay, Jamaica, or grow up in Los Angeles, California, or grow up in cities in New York, right? You know, the reason why people like Nas, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang Clan have got so much support from locals is because Wu-Tang, Nas, and Mobb Deep, you know, they grew up in large cities in New York that's so big. They have a more opportunity to be supported by locals more than spiritual beings who grew up in these small locations where zombie, soulless, vibrational beings with no talent just always hate on spiritual beings with talent, you know? Because this is very factual. Like, when it comes to being a spiritual being, you know, sad truth is a lot of spiritual beings have a lot of biological fathers, mothers, sisters, cousins, co-workers that are locals that don't support their vision, because a lot of these locals that known these spiritual beings for a long time have a false perception of who that spiritual being is, right? And a lot of parents have a false perception of who their child is, when the spiritual child sees themselves much differently from how their parents see them. And that's a whole disconnection right there. So if a spiritual child was to say, I want to go to Los Angeles, California, so I could be around people who celebrate me and love me for my personality, love me for my talents, those parents that don't see the vision that their child sees, they're going to hate on it. Now, let me go deeper on this form of spiritual beings not having support from locals, right? Now, when we think of the term called gangstalking, right? These demon slave owners, you know, they have these spiritual beings separated from other spiritual family at birth, because, you know, a lot of these demon evildoers, they want spiritual beings to suffer in these local locations that are very stagnant to a soulful, vibrational, spiritual being's growth, right? So, like, when you think of the state of Louisiana, Louisiana is a parish and not a county like the rest of the states in USA, right? So, like, demonic gang stalking, targeting spiritual, soulful, vibrational people, regardless of their skin color, right? You know, Louisiana has the highest form of gang stalking with, you know, spy cameras spying on spiritual, soulful, vibrational people, because these demons hate soulful, vibrational. And when I say these demon evildoers hate soulful, vibrational, spiritual beings in the state of Louisiana, these evildoers just hate spiritual beings that are in that location. in Louisiana is known to be a parish, and they're saying like the parishes in Louisiana, meaning like individuals live in Louisiana to perish, because Louisiana is a parish and not a county, right? So like a lot of spiritual beings that have been suffering from zombie locals in the state of Louisiana, they're not getting love for the vision that they have, for the talents that they got. A lot of spiritual beings that are in Louisiana, they're fighting so hard to flock to locations far away from that place, to be in local locations where it's other spiritual beings that will celebrate them.